So this morning, a friend of mine is a general manager. He's a GM of one of the top Dodge dealers, CDJR dealers in the Midwest. He asked me, he said, how could I get my managers to find an extra 10 deals a month? And I said, well, that's actually kind of simple. I mean, a lot of times it's working the CRM, but it's garbage in, garbage out there of what notes are put in. I said, but the easiest way to find 10 deals, at least it was easy for me as a used car manager. I'd want more cars over the curb, and I'd want to sell more cars, and new cars feed into used cars, and vice versa. Each one plays off each department. So I said the easiest way is that I would go into call source, and I'd simply listen to every call. In my morning routine, I'd get to the dealership, I'd look at the sold log, I'd look at the trade-in log, I'd walk my inventory, I'd look at my inventory sheet, and then what I would do is I'd go back to service, check on my vehicles that were getting inspected, see what vehicles were coming in from detailed so I can get them pictured and videoed, what stuff I needed to get out to detail. But the one thing I did kind of after that, before I started pricing my cars to market in Auto, was that I immediately went into call source. And I listened to every call that morning that I didn't listen to the night before. So I listened to calls 3 times a day, and I listened to every call. And if your managers get in this culture and they develop this one habit, you'll find an extra 10 deals a month simply by listening to the calls, going to your CRM, looking at the notes, and kind of asking yourself, what the fuck? And the reason I'm saying that is because there's not a week that goes by as a manager that I ever worked the sales tower and that I didn't go into call source or whatever your product is and listen to my calls and go into CRM and the notes didn't match the call. It didn't make sense. And when something isn't in there and something doesn't make sense, it's your job to pick up the phone and call that customer. Call them, email, text them, find a hook to get them back in, because sometimes people go, it's a dead deal. And why is it a dead deal? Because the customer told you they found something else? Well, maybe the customer just didn't like you. But that's okay. It's my job as a manager then to re-engage with that customer. So that being said, many a times salespeople talk to a customer, they didn't ask for an appointment. Something else came in on trade. You're a manager, you know the inventory better than they do. So you have to take, that initiative to make that phone call. Even if it's just confirming an appointment with somebody, which is a whole nother video on doing a manager confirmation call or internet manager confirmation call as well. But in this situation, if you listen to your calls first thing in the morning before your pending meeting or before you sit down with your salespeople and review leads for the day, you have something to talk about, and there's always a training opportunity. There's always an additional word track that you can help them with. And it doesn't matter if it's your salespeople or if it's your internet people. There's always training opportunities to make people better, to find a way and create a hook to get people in. So again, I don't want to preach to the choir, but the bottom line is that if all your managers had this one habit, you would pick up an extra 10 deals a month simply by listening to the phone calls. All right, that's your sales tip of the day.